Welcome to Bob Cargill's Marketing Show, a ridiculously awesome podcast bursting with insightful commentaries and intriguing conversations on the topics and issues that are on the minds of marketers, advertisers, social media, and PR professionals today. Hey everybody, this is Bob Cargill from Bob Cargill's Marketing Show. I am coming to you from a ridiculously awesome co-working space, a space where I get some of my best work done out of office in Hudson, Massachusetts. And I have a fantastic guest today, a friend from way back in the day. We actually graduated from high school at the same time. We were classmates. Can't believe it. It was a long time ago. And I guess it was 1976, Ed. I can confess that. It makes me sound old, but we live young, and age is very, very relative. But my guest is Ed McDonough. Ed and I graduated from Franklin High School in 1976. We have since led parallel professional lives, I think. We're both in marketing, social media. We do kind of the same thing, but our paths really haven't crossed too much over the years. Until recently, we reconnected, we saw each other, and then Ed published a book. He sent me a copy of it, and I said, geez, Ed, you got to be on my podcast. And lo and behold, today is the day. Ed McDonough, folks, and he's going to tell you a little bit about his background. Ed, thanks so much for being here.
Hey, Bob, thank you so much for having me today. And first, to start this off, I want to say I can't even believe we actually made it out of high school, because back then things were crazy.
Rough and tumble.
Rough and tumble. Rough and tumble is right.
Yeah, we might have some stories we could tell, but I don't know if I want to tell them today.
Boy, no, I don't. We'll save that for another time.
Please don't spill the beans.
Today I am the founder and owner of EC Marketing Services, and our focus is primarily on email marketing, but a very special kind of email marketing. Email marketing that brings revenue into businesses. And so we can talk a little bit more about that. The company has been around since 2009. We hit our 10-year anniversary this January, so I'm pretty psyched about that. And it's awesome to be here. And again, thanks so much for having me today.
You should be very proud, Ed, because I told you right before we got on air that I was congratulating you on the book, and a book is something I've always wanted to write, and I am working on one right now. I have a 2-year plan, and it's going to happen, and I'm really excited about it. But here I am congratulating you on this book, and then you say, Bob, it's my fourth, not even my only book. So I'm like jealous. I'm proud of you. I'm envious, and I give you props because I know as a writer myself, I know how much work it is. So good for you, man.
Yeah, thank you.
And tell us, we may as well get right into the book, because I read it this week. It's a fairly quick read, but extremely practical book. It's called The Email Marketing Advantage, Make More Sales More Often. And it literally gives away a template, a program and template, how to email market your business. I was so impressed. Tell us about the book.
Yeah, so the real premise behind the book is to show people how they can use email to generate revenue for their business. So in my company, we primarily work with service-type businesses. So businesses like dentists, chiropractors, day spas, med spas, auto repair, businesses that see a lot of clients on a regular basis and are building the email list, but do not have a method to turn the money that's into that list into, or turn the potential revenue into that list into cash that comes into their business. And so what the book does is it actually shows you how to do that using a strategic system that we developed with thousands and thousands of tests over a couple years. We found a system that works really, really well that will help folks be able to write an email sequence that will bring people into their business. And it can be transformed to businesses that aren't service businesses. We've used it with mortgage, insurance, real estate. So there's a lot of potential to that.
Where did so you say you did, I think I heard thousands of tests, so you've done a lot of tests. How did you get the initial idea for this email program? Was it based on past experience? In other words, how did it all start?
It's a great question. So jump back a couple of years, and I was actually doing Facebook advertising in the fitness industry. So what we were doing is we were advertising a free 10-day pass for gyms. And during that process, what happened was the gyms were building email lists. And so I started to inquire, what are you doing with those email lists? Do you have lists of past clients that we could do some client reactivation with them? And the answer was yes. They were building these big lists, but they were doing nothing with them at all.
Fascinating.
So I decided that I wanted to own all the technology in my business. So, Facebook advertising is an awesome market. It's a tool that just about any business can use. But unfortunately, you don't own the platform. And so I wanted to own the platform. So what I did was I went out and built my own email marketing platform. It's called the Quantum Email Marketing Platform. And I use that platform to not only get clients for myself, but also help my clients use email marketing to bring revenue into their business.
So you have your own platform. When I think of email marketing platforms, and I could be mistaken, I'm going to name a few if that's,
yep.
I assume they're competitors and probably much bigger than you, but maybe not. I'm thinking of like MailChimp and Constant Contact. Is Quantum what you're talking about the same thing, or do you combine?
Yeah, here's the difference. Those platforms, so MailChimp, GetResponse, Infusionsoft, Constant Contact.
Vertical Response, are they?
Yeah. They're all do-it-yourself platforms. My platform is a done-for-you platform, and that's the difference. So we do everything for you. So our clients never really touch our platform. We only use it internally, but we designed it with much greater capability for analytics, and also that leads to being able to segment lists into different categories and then present offers to those categories. So it's a much more robust platform than a do-it-yourself platform.
So I love your answer to that question. You said they're do-it-yourself and you're done for you. Fantastic answer. I wonder how little... So what would I do? Just turn over my email list to you? In other words, doesn't the client have to be involved to some degree? It can't completely be done for them.
Well, again, through thousands of tests, we've discovered a process that works really well, and it's in the book. What we do is we create a 5-part email sequence, and we send it out over a 16-day period. We've picked 5 days, 5 email parts, or the 5 email sequence and the 16 days, because through the thousands of tests we've done, we find that works the best. So what the client does is they turn over their email list, and then we work with them to develop a special offer. Usually it's a free gift with purchase, because that works really good. The 2 parts of that is that, number one, the person's coming in and spending money because they have to make a purchase to get the free gift, and they're coming in because they want the free gift. So it's kind of the best of both worlds for the business. And from that process, we write all the emails. We write it in the voice of the client. And it works really well.
I get it totally now when you say done for you.
Right.
So I would, if I'm a hypothetical client, I give you my email list.
Correct.
And we talk, and you learn my business, and then you put together the program, and you guys handle it from there, and I get the fruits of your labor. I benefit. Right.
So all you really need to do is give us our list, approve the email sequence, and service the clients when they come in.
Love that. What about the list? How small a list could you be working with? So
depending upon the industry, we can do as little as 1,000 people on a list, but the 1,500 to 2,500 range is a really good list that's going to generate revenue and turn a profit, right in the first 16-day period that we work with somebody.
Fascinating. So Ed, I do a lot of social media and I do a lot of creative. So I think we do very similar work for our clients. Maybe I feel you have more of a process in which maybe people like me are working behind the scenes with you to help get done, meaning, I'm the writer, I'm the guy who comes up with the ideas. Is that you yourself, or do you have people who are in the shop with you? Is that something you can share with us?
Yeah, absolutely.
Your secret sauce, if you will.
All the people that work with me, they work with me virtually, and they are either front-end sales, so I have appointment setters and salespeople on my team, and then I'm just about ready to bring on somebody to do some of the technical stuff.
Gotcha.
But I write all the copy because I am a trained copywriter and I've been doing it for 17 years. So I write all the copy. But at this point, we really have sort of a formula that we use, and it's in the book.
It is.
And that formula just works really well. So we change the voice of it to match the person, but we don't change the formula.
Interesting. So I'm usually brought in by clients when there isn't necessarily a formula in place, and frankly, they're not necessarily looking for a whole sequence of emails. They're looking for it might be a campaign. It could be a mix of email with social media. So about integrated marketing, do you get involved with the company's other marketing activities, or are you working strictly with the email program and not tying it into anything else they have going? Do you know what I mean by that?
Yeah, absolutely. So we work pretty much in the email realm only. So we will do content marketing for people on occasion. And then the other thing we do is list building, and we do that through viral contest. So we actually have our own done-for-you viral contest platform. It's called First Contest. And what that does is it helps build the email list. So if someone comes in with 1,000 or 1,500 people on their email list, we can quickly grow that to 2,500 over a couple months by just running viral contests.
Wow.
And the cool part about the viral contest is we run the contest, we put 200 to 300 people on the list, and then as soon as the contest is done, we take all the non-winners and we run an email marketing campaign to them, and we bring revenue in.
You mentioned earlier, before we started recording, Dan Kennedy. I saw him speak years ago. You mentioned him. It's reminded me. I saw him years ago when he talked about. It's reminded me of the program he talked about with direct mail. Am I right? Didn't he publish a book, something like The Ultimate Sales Letter?
Yeah, actually my first two marketing books were The Ultimate Sales Letter and The Ultimate Marketing Plan. So those were the first two marketing books I ever read way back in like 2002.
Well, I think you might have the ultimate email marketing plan right here, man.
Well, I think we do. It's pretty good.
Wow. So let's, if you don't mind, talk about other. Well, one more question about. Can you talk about any specific case studies, any particular clients? I don't know if you can name any, but tell me the type of industry.
Yeah. So right now we work a lot with day spas, med spas.
Okay.
Salon and spas.
Okay.
So salon and spa is like a hair salon, but also offers some spa.
That's an actual company.
Well, they're called salons and spas.
That vertical
industry. Vertical, right?
Yep.
So I'll give you a great example. We have a day spa that we work with down the Cape, and on the first campaign that we ran, we did a free gift with purchase. So book a 90-minute massage and get a free facial lift mask. Now, here's what's cool about that. The reason why that works so well is, number one is people already want to come in and get pampered.
Yep.
So this was client reactivation. So this was going to her past list of clients and prospects. So number one is they're going to book a massage and pay money for that. And number two is they're going to get a free gift with it, valued at $45. So what happened was we had 9 people come in for the offer. 2 of them were brand new clients that she never had before, because we always ask people to bring a friend. She made the campaign brought in $1,350 in revenue, just the campaign in 16 days.
Yep.
She paid us $795 to do it. So that was our fee for doing that.
Yep.
And
that's affordable. That's reasonable.
It's very reasonable. And then, but here's the best part. Those new clients are worth $1,800 a piece to her over the next 12 months. So literally from one campaign, she generated over $4,000 in revenue from one campaign that cost her $795.
I asked the right question because you gave an awesome answer. I mean, you had that you had that from the get-go, Ed. Last night I went to an AMA Boston event, and one of the speakers on the panel was talking about what they do as an agency. and there were a lot of students in the audience. And he said, but no matter how, I'm paraphrasing, but he said, you know, we might get all this data and have all these answers, but where the rubber meets the road, again, I'm paraphrasing, is in articulating it to the client. And so where I'm going with this is you articulated, you know, that perfectly. You had the numbers. It's a case study that you just recited. Yeah.
Thank you. Well, I've had a lot of practice with that.
No, and so what so not only I think are you. So you're a copywriter, you're an entrepreneur, but you're a businessman, and you're also a great communicator. I mean, you really, like you say, you have the practice, but you got it all going on, Ed.
Thank you.
Good
Thanks
for you,
so
man.
much. Thanks so much.
Now, but what
just
I
like you.
Thank you. That's very kind of you to
say. You have it going on too.
I have it going on in different ways.
much better ways than I do in some areas.
You're too kind. But the fee jumped out at me. To me, very affordable. So I imagine you have to scale. You have to have a bunch of those kind of clients, correct? Or
yeah. So the goal really is to not just do a single campaign. Is to work with the client month after month, and that's why that's why we got into the virtual contest. So what we do is we do an email campaign to your list month one.
Yep.
Month two, we run the viral contest, build the list,
yep.
and bring some revenue in with that.
Yep.
Month three, we add those people to the list, and now we do another email marketing campaign special offer. So pretty much every other month we're doing a viral campaign in email marketing.
And you multiply it. So it's like a retainer, kind of, sort of. I mean,
So
it's be signing up for
right. So it's $7.95 per campaign, and we do one per month, whether it's the contest or the email.
So I'm going to throw you a curveball. So I'm on my own. My audience knows I'm on my own. I've worked at agencies forever, and the name of my book is 20 Jobs, 20 Lessons. My crazy career working title, it may not be the final title, my crazy career from junk mail to social media. So, but that's past. That's my history. Now I'm on my own for the last 2 years or so. And I have clients here, there, and everywhere. I do teaching, I do consulting, I do copywriting. How would let's say we were talking about me signing up for that 5 email program. I love the idea. How would we work on that?
So
if you don't mind giving me some free advice.
Not at all. So the first thing is to come up with an offer. You know, the thing that makes this work is the free gift with purchase. Just be honest with you.
Yep. No, this is perfect direct marketing.
And now,
folks, you are learning a lot listening to Ed McDonough. I'm telling you, this is like an education right here.
Now, we have worked in the mortgage industry where we didn't do a free gift with offer. We did a free mortgage consultation. There was another word for it.
Audit or assessment?
Well, there was another adjective in there.
Yeah,
so anyway. So what happened was we took their past list of clients and we went back to them and said, look, let's do a free mortgage consultation because you may be able to save money by refinancing. So that wasn't a free gift with purchase, but it worked really well. From my own personal standpoint, that's something that we're only going to do quarterly with a business. We're not going to work with them month after month because we'll burn out their list.
What if they don't have a list or they only have 50 people or 100 people?
Yeah, so typically that's not my client, to be honest with you. But, if...
Do you ever rent list? Do you get... That's not done like it used to be, is it?
Yeah, so two things. Right. I'll get back to that in a minute. So first of all, we can just do viral contests for you and help you build your list. But it's not an ideal way to start, and I will tell you up front that your campaigns are not going to be profitable out of the blocks like they would with somebody who has 15 to 2,500 on their list. As far as buying lists go, purchase lists are very, very poor. It's not a good way to grow your business.
I agree. I mean, that's everything I know.
One of the first things we do with everybody that we work with is we take their list and we actually scrub it for bad email addresses. That can be anywhere from 5 to 30% of those people on the list can come right off. With a purchase list, it's closer to 50%, believe it or not.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
So, folks, what he's saying, you may be approached by vendors, or you may be thinking of renting. It's renting a list, right? You don't buy it.
You can do both, actually.
You can do both.
Yep.
Okay. So, anyways, getting a list from a third party, half of the names in that list are going to be bad, if you will. They're not going to be great contacts, but if you build your own list, Ed's saying 5% to
20%, depending upon how old the list
might
is.
be bad, but scrubbing your list is what's key before you actually use
Here's
it.
the other thing. The list you build, the people already know, hopefully like, and trust you.
Yeah.
At least they know you.
Yep.
Where a purchase list, nobody knows you. So the results you're going to get, between having, 30, 40, 50% of the names on the list are going to be bad to begin with, and then you're sending an email out to people who don't know you. It's a tough way to do email marketing.
I grew up in this industry. We learned back in the direct mail days, same with email, that the list is probably the most important piece of your equation, if you will, the direct marketing equation.
The money is in the list.
The money is in the list. And I have we used to say a bad offer to a good list works better than a good offer to a bad list.
Perfect.
So the list, is first.
Right.
Offers right up there, and creative actually was last in importance. Of course, that's what I do.
But it's important.
I would always say that. I would always say it may be the least important, but we can't drop the ball.
Right.
And that is the part that I've done my whole career, is the creative part, the copywriting, working with designers. And now I've evolved into social media. So I'm going to change course a little bit here, Ed. What about social media? Do you get involved in it for your clients, and if whether you do or not? Also, what about for yourself? What's your thing? What's your take on social media?
Yeah. So first of all, I like to just think of everything as content. And content is king. I believe.
Yep. Agreed.
I think what most people do is they do a poor job of prioritizing that content, what goes out where. So for me personally, LinkedIn is my platform of choice, because I am a B2B business. So, I sell, I'm a business selling to other businesses, and those businesses can be found on LinkedIn. And so that's why I choose LinkedIn as my primary platform to put content out, special offers and things like that. Secondary is Facebook. I think you need a Facebook presence, and you should have one on a regular basis. After that, that's all I do for my business. Okay. I'm not a Twitter guy. I don't Pinterest. I don't Instagram.
TikTok.
Don't TikTok. And you know what? All those things are good. It just depends on, in my opinion, two factors. Number one is the resources and time you can spend.
Yeah.
Right, that's number one.
You can't do it all.
Right, you can't do it all. And number two is, where's your target audience?
Yep, I agree.
Right,
totally.
So, and I think actually where your target audience should be number one.
Yeah, Yeah, if your audience isn't there, why use those channels? Although I will say, again, as the social media guy, I do tell my clients, you never know where your audience might be 2-3 years from now. Right. So it's good to have my feeling, bare minimum presence, or at least know how to use those channels.
Absolutely. Now, for my clients, for the day spas and the clients that I work with, it's a totally different story. They need a big presence on social media because they're B2C.
Yeah.
And their clients are on Facebook.
Yeah.
And they're, not so much on LinkedIn.
Maybe Instagram.
Their clients are, absolutely. Yeah. Instagram, Twitter, all those channels. So I highly recommend it.
Yep.
I personally don't use it because it's just, it all comes down to where's your target audience and how much resources do you have.
I see you as more left brain than right brain. Mm-hmm. I'm very right brain. I'm very, creative, which means, I'm not necessarily as business focused as you are. And again, that's where I give you props and kudos.
Yeah, I'm naturally a left brain, but I can switch to the right brain to do the creative stuff when I have to, like the copywriting.
He's like a superhero,
like
folks.
I don't know about that. Is my cape showing?
What? Yeah. Yeah, see? No, I just know. I know your secrets because we have secrets from back in the day.
Right.
So, hey, we grew up in Franklin. We are all superheroes in some way
Absolutely.
or another, just surviving those years, right?
Yeah.
Back in the 70s.
Holy cow.
Rough and tumble years. Did you learn anything back? Seriously, does any of what you're doing now reflect on what you learned back in Franklin High School, or?
I don't think so. I mean, Can
you remember what? Like me,
well, that's challenge number one.
Some of those memories for
pretty
me
big part here, playing football.
Yeah.
So. Don't have a lot of education memories from back in the day.
Did you take I loved English. I will say I loved writing it.
Yeah, see, it was funny because first of all, I don't know how to type because in 1976, why would a guy take typing?
But I took typing in high school.
Yeah,
I did.
Well, I can see that, right? Because you love writing, but I didn't. So today I still hunt and peck.
Wow. And I've seen people do that.
Yeah,
and it sometimes surprises me, but not everyone took typing.
Yeah, I didn't take typing because you just
And older people like ourselves, if I may put us in that bracket. Unlike kids today, they're growing up with the phone and the computers.
Yeah, they type with their thumbs.
Yeah.
Right? My son types with his thumbs, right? So
not typing. What about English writing?
No, I was the analytical guy. So excelled in math and science. That was my thing because that's my natural. Yeah. That's my natural path.
And now you've kind of overlapped, or you've strayed a little, like you say. You can turn on that right brain.
Yeah, well, back when I was around 40 years old, I really got into meditation, and so I'm actually learned how to teach meditation. I practice
this guy does it all.
Something called Qigong, which is a Chinese exercise. It's not a martial art, but a lot of the martial arts are based on it. And that really helped open up my right side of my brain to be more creative.
Fascinating.
And and be able to switch it on.
Would that help open up my left? Does it go both ways?
I'm sure it will. Like anything.
Well, just take me further off to the right.
I liken it to learning a sport. So you're a runner, right?
Yes, I am.
So the only way you can run a marathon is if you practice all the time. You know that,
and
right?
There's a lot of mindfulness, or whatever the term would be, in running a marathon, because you got to focus, or the opposite. You just got to go with it. Roll with it.
Absolutely.
Know that there's pain involved. Know that there's endurance involved.
So meditation and Qigong are exactly like that. You have to practice all the time, and so that's part of my daily ritual.
Did we play football together? Were we on the same, like freshmen? And I didn't go very far, though. I didn't play varsity or anything.
I played till I was a junior.
Okay. Yeah, football, I think I only played freshman year.
Yeah.
In high school.
I remember
in
we were on the
7th and 8th grade.
That's really how I remember you the most.
Yeah.
And then we were on track together, too.
That's right, yeah. Did you throw the shot?
Javelin.
The javelin.
Yeah.
And I ran long distance.
Yeah.
Look at that. Now all the memories are coming back. Wow, it's amazing. I love this. I mean, so folks, I mean, I've told you the story. I mean, how Ed and I reconnected, and after all these years, and to think that we're doing very similar things at this time in our lives. What about marketing in the wild, if you will? What brands, what people do you follow? In other words, who inspires you in terms of marketing in this day and age?
So
it could be an individual or a company, or
I'm pretty old school, and so I honestly believe that marketing hasn't changed since the 1800s. It's still the same process. Identify your target audience and put a message in front of them that's going to get them to take action. And that's what I learned from Dan Kennedy and all the people that I followed, a lot of his disciples. They all kind of regurgitate the same thing in a different way. But at the core, it's really understanding who your target market is, and then number two, understanding who they are. Number two is finding out where to reach them. How do you reach that target audience?
Where they're hanging.
And then the third part, where you and I come in, is putting a message in front of them that gets them to take action. It's that simple, It's not any. People make it harder and complicated. It's not the platform. It doesn't matter if it's social media. Direct mail still works really well.
Yes,
Email marketing is phenomenal. podcasting, video. They all work extremely well if you have the first three parts. If you know who your target market is,
audience,
if you know how to get that media in front of them,
yep,
and then you present a message that gets them to take action.
That is brilliant, and if I was taking notes, I'd repeat that. But it is captured on in this podcast. Ed, you just gold nuggets here. You're
Thank you.
You're dropping left and right knowledge bombs. But you mentioned Dan Kennedy. Any other inspirations? People who any books?
Yeah. So I like. Gary Vaynerchuk.
Gary V.
He's good.
Yep.
Someone that I really like is Simon Sinek.
I know that
Start
name.
with Why is his book.
Start
book.
with Why. Awesome
book, and it talks about rather than start with your product, start with why you're selling your product.
Yep.
Great book.
Okay.
And he's got a great TED Talk too.
Wow.
Yeah.
I will look him up. I definitely have heard the name. Gary V. Everybody knows Gary V. He's inspired so many people to use social media and to go into business and to not be shy.
Right.
And to inspire anybody can pursue their dreams, and those dreams can come true if you just follow his advice and actually do it instead of just talking about it. That's the difference. Is a lot of people talk about it, but you got to walk the walk, and clearly that's what you're doing. And any brands, what do you think of TV advertising nowadays, or radio advertising? What do you think of mainstream advertising? Do you like me, or are you a little tired of the same old? Even though you did say if it works, right? But frankly, I find a lot of repetitious and I don't know if it's working like it used to.
There's two types of marketing, and there's what I call direct response marketing, which is what we learned from Dan Kennedy.
Yes.
And then there's there's branding marketing. So things like billboards, TV, radio, they're more of a branding thing. They're a top of mind, keeping your name and brand out there. So that people are aware. They don't fly the Goodyear blimp over Gillette Stadium here in Foxborough during a Patriots game because they think at halftime someone's going to go out and run out and buy 4 new tires for their car, and they're going to pick Goodyear. It's an awareness thing.
Yep.
When you think of tires, you think of Goodyear because you see their name everywhere.
Yep.
Very effective marketing if you have a big budget.
Yeah.
For small guys like us, we don't have that big budget.
Yeah.
So we need to do something that's more streamlined and more effective. And that's where direct response marketing comes
targeted.
in. Yeah, it's laser targeted.
You say you learned it from Dan Kennedy. I started as a direct response copywriter. 1983 for RCA Direct Marketing. I wrote for the Record and Tape Club, and that's vinyl and
I bought some of that stuff because of your ads.
Yeah, yay! I win. You win too because 12 records for a penny.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
Did you come up with that idea?
No, I can't claim.
It was good.
I executed on that idea.
There you go.
I mean, that's a brilliant offer. 12 records for a penny. Then you would get sent a record or tape, the record of the month, every month. Those are called negative option clubs, the record and book clubs, because you'd automatically get the record or the book unless you said, I don't want it.
Right.
And you only had a little bit of time to say, I don't want it.
And send it back.
Yeah. So the marketers, and I was one of them, but again, I wasn't the strategist. I wasn't the top dog. That guy or gal made lots of money, probably. I was the one just writing, variations of that offer, creative ways to get that offer across. And we bet on people either, frankly, forgetting to send back that card and say no, or just being a little, inertia. I'll get it. It looks like a good album. And
it's why gyms have a monthly membership.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, because memberships.
Believe it, the business model for a gym is based on X amount % of people not coming every month.
Yeah. It
really is. And that's why they do the monthly membership, because they know 40 to 60% of the people aren't going to come every month. If they did,
they'd be overwhelmed.
They'd be overwhelmed, and their equipment maintenance expense would be out of the world. And that's what it's about. It's about equipment maintenance, not about too many people in the gym.
Yeah.
It's about maintaining the equipment.
Yeah. So we're talking about subscription models, really.
Yeah.
And it's something, geez, you are right, and I get a goal when you said, a lot of it hasn't changed. So, glorifying that negative option membership where you get a record of books sent to you every month is very similar to gym memberships. Is very similar to retainer contracts.
Yep.
I mean, that's the way to go in sales and marketing. You want people, and sometimes we're on the receiving end of these deals, and sometimes as marketers we're putting these offers out there. You want people committed, not just saying, I'll buy from you every once in a while. You want them buying from you every month on a regular basis, and you want to be able to count on that.
Right. Continuity programs.
Continuity programs.
Yep.
I bought you coffee today, iced coffee, and where did I go? I went to Cumberland Farms, 99 cents. I know, because I've heard an ad, that and I do that every once in a while, but they're trying a coffee club. I've heard it advertised. I'm not sure the exact price. It's like $20 or $25 a month. And you can get I think you can get 2 coffees a day. And, if you drank 2 coffees a day and went to Cumbies every day, that would be more than, it'd be a great, great deal. But at the same time, they're, getting you to commit to a $25 a month instead of people like me who only go in there once every few weeks and buy a couple of 99-cent coffees.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just thinking of examples of this is marketing. It's tried and true. What else, Ed, are you doing today in terms of your business? You do a little bit of speaking?
I do some speaking. I do some teaching. I love to teach.
Yep.
I've been doing some work with SCORE out of Rhode Island.
Yeah. I
do some classes down there. I taught actually over at Tri-County in Franklin, their adult ed program.
Awesome.
I taught there for many, many years.
You and I have done similar things because I dabble in teaching. You know that.
Yeah, so I love to teach. Right now I'm actually working with a couple of interns. So they do some market research for me. And in turn, I teach them about digital marketing, digital agency, stuff like that.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's a little bit of a trade-off. So that works really well. And then I also do in-person networking. I'm still a big fan of supporting local businesses, being visible in the community. I just spoke at the marketing camp down in Rhode Island this past October, of September rather. So I like to stay plugged in locally.
That's
but
awesome.
My business is really virtual.
So you could work. So you let's say this day spa was located in California. You could still do.
Yeah. So we work with clients all over the country.
Well, you and I got to hook up, man. I mean, we have complementary skills. Like I say, parallel professional lives and parallel lives, period, because we have Franklin in our roots.
That's right.
And
in our blood.
In our blood, yeah. Once you can take the kid out of Franklin, but you can't take the Franklin out of the kid. Something
good.
Like that. Yeah.
Very well said.
Any advice for people if they were just launching a marketing campaign now besides hiring Ed McDonough or Bob Cargill?
Yeah, absolutely. I think. So, I've literally spoke to thousands of businesses, over the past 10 years. And the number one thing that I see, the number one reason why businesses struggle and fail, I believe, is because they don't have a concrete marketing plan. They haven't sat down and put together a marketing calendar or some kind of plan that says, these are the 1, 2, 3 things I'm going to do every month. They have the shiny object syndrome, So somebody says Instagram, and they all of a sudden think they need to be an Instagram business, and then somebody says LinkedIn, and oh no, I got to go over to LinkedIn. So my advice is always develop a marketing strategy. Call Bob, have him sit down with you, and develop a marketing strategy that makes sense for your business.
Well, my marketing strategy would now include the email marketing advantage from Ed McDonough.
There you go.
Between us, where how can they go wrong?
A dynamic duo here.
Good advice. Very good
but
advice.
Seriously, it's about developing a plan that's measurable.
Yep.
And that's going to bring profit into your business. One of the reasons we do email marketing is because it's measurable and it's profitable
Yeah.
for the business. Not for my company. It's profitable for my company too, but it's profitable for the business.
Of course.
And I want to be able to show you how in 16 days I'm going to put money in your pocket. You're going to pay just like the case study I talked about earlier, you're going to pay my fee, and there's going to be money in your pocket, and you have new clients. And from that one campaign, you're going to be able to generate business for the next 6 to 12 months.
Boom. I mean, to me, it's a no-brainer, Ed. If people want to talk to you, reach you, how can they find you?
The best thing is to visit my website, which is ecemarketingservices.com.
ecemarketingservices.com. That is Ed's website.
Yep.
And this has been Ed McDonough with amazingly, ridiculously awesome advice, amazingly good advice and insight and information. Folks, I mean, Ed and I, we haven't had a conversation like this maybe ever, even though we hung out a little bit in high school. Back then we didn't converse very...
We're talking about other things.
Yeah. We were doing other things and talking about other things. That's right. To talk marketing with Ed McDonough, has been a thrill and an honor and a privilege, Ed. Thanks for coming.
And right back at you, Bob.
Thank you.
Right back at you.
Thank you, man. Thanks for coming all the way from Walpole to Hudson on this beautiful Friday afternoon. It has been a great time talking to Ed McDonough. This is Bob Cargill from Bob Cargill's Marketing Show. Thank you to all of you who tune in, who listen, and I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I look forward to talking to you again soon.